One day while I was in the shower, I heard an inaudible voice in my head saying, take the VRIF. That means Voluntary Reduction in Force. It's an acronym for one of the vehicles my company was using to reduce manpower. I wish I could say that I jumped out of the shower, ran to work, told my boss I was quitting, but that is not what happened. Instead, I stood in the shower and I tried to convince myself why quitting was not a good idea. I loved my job. I was successful, and I was not old enough to retire. I was getting a decent salary, and besides, where would I get another job at my age? This is just not the right time, I told myself. My job had announced a voluntary reduction in force. I told my daughter and her husband while visiting them in Boston. Rosin leaned forward and placed her elbows on her knees and supported her chin with her hand. Then she said in a casual, nonchalant way, as if speaking to no one, "What would you do if you weren't afraid?" Startled, I looked at Rosin and I thought of the wisdom she had just whispered. This was just a confirmation of what I needed. But I let it pass by. I did not take the voluntary reduction in force. I would later discover that the opportunity to leave at the top of my game was gone. Not long after, I was victimized by micromanagement, and things got worse and worse. Political maneuvering, deceitfulness were rampant. I received the worst employee satisfaction survey of my career. The VP, who had always been cordial to me, treated me like I was a week-old, unrefrigerated dead fish. The company I once loved was the company I now loathed. I could have sprayed them with bullets aiming at upper management, my peers, my team members for my predicament and horrible situation. I felt persecuted, but I knew why I was being persecuted. I should have left this company several months earlier when the VIF was offered, but I was too afraid.